stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Look at the tail. The tail. Geek cat. Geek cat. All right. He always likes to come get love when I start to do this. And I get the chin bumps. So, hi, Patricia. It's good to see you. Good afternoon. I slept in this morning. I usually sleep in on Sundays. It's a good day to sleep in, right? So Jerry, good to see you. Good to see you. All right. No, dude. I gotta do some stuff. Sorry. Daniel. He'll be back. Oh, no, he won't. He's gonna go bug his brother. Or unplug the internet. All right. So I'm kind of having a hard time getting started this morning. Not for any particular reason, just because. You're going to a meeting? Well, awesome. I'm going to go to a 3:00 meeting because I missed my nooner. My home group doesn't have a nooner, so I go to a different one, but I didn't get up until 12:07 or something like that. And I don't like waking up in a meeting. So, all right. Today we're talking about surrender and self-examination. And what I'm going to do, it's out of language of the heart, and it is actually has to do with emotional sobriety, but there is another portion. It's 5 on now. Okay. I'm missing something. Dion's brain is not. Oh, PM. Got it. Okay. Well, I will try and get through this then. I am easily fooled today. All right. It is a little bit longer. It's this page right here. So, all right. It's going to feel a little weird starting out. So, for my dependency met a demand for the possession and control of people and the conditions surrounding me. So the dependency that he's talking about is emotional dependency, that we utilize other people for our happiness and our feelings and our emotions, how we need to feel that day. Sometimes we utilize them for our own worth. Okay? We are not to do that. Only God can determine your worth. And I guarantee you, you're worth more than you think you are. While those words, absolute dependency, may look like a gimmick, they are the ones that help trigger my release into my present degree of stability and quietness of mind. Qualities which I am now trying to consolidate by offering love to others, regardless of the return to me. Unconditional love. Altruistic. This seems to be the primary healing circuit, an outgoing of love of God's creation and his people, by means of which we avail ourselves of his love for us. It is most clear that the real current can't flow until our paralyzing dependencies are broken and broken at depth. Only then can we possibly have a glimmer of what adult love really is, adult love. Spiritual calculus, you say, not a bit of it. Watch any AA of 6 months working on a new 12-step case. If the case says to the devil with you, the 12-stepper only smiles and turns to another case. He doesn't feel frustrated or rejected. If his next case responds and in turn starts to give love and attention to other alcoholics, yet gives none back to him, the sponsor is happy about it anyway. Right? My sponsees, it isn't that I'm not friendly with them, but we are not friends. Okay? I have friends. I already have friends. Hey Ingrid, good to see you. Right? This is learning how to love appropriately. Okay? So what if your sponsee, I've seen this happen. Well, if your sponsee speaks there for their 1 year, but fails to invite you. No, it's none of your fucking business. It's not your damn recovery. I tell you now, they probably just forgot. And as a sponsor, I kind of think you have a right to go. Try be an adult, just show up for them instead of being invited. I see. I still can't grasp that. Okay, it's like I'm having a birthday party. I don't need to invite my wife. I'm so tired of this being off. Everything's off by like 3 seconds. I can't look at the screen. All right. He still doesn't feel rejected. Instead, he rejoices that his one-time prospect is sober and happy. And if his next following case turns out in a later time to be his best friend or romance, then the sponsor is most joyful. But he knows well that his happiness is a byproduct, the extra dividend of giving without any demand in for return. That's what we get. We get the dividends. What is that? What's left over? Okay? You still get to rejoice in that. That's between you and God, man. Right? It's between you and God. We already celebrate me once a year. We don't need to celebrate me helping them. No. We can't. Okay? If you have any expectation while helping somebody else, it is an expectation, and that is all it is. Right? My sponsees get it because I tell them in the beginning, I only want you to be happy. That's it. I'm a guide. I am nothing else. But if I see you going a little wonky, this guide will kick you in the ass. Okay? Because I take the program seriously. And I would rather you got sober and were happy and that we were never friends. I would rather have that for you. Okay? I would. This doesn't have to do with me. Only my program has to do with me. Helping others is a byproduct of my recovery. A very beautiful byproduct. The really stabilizing thing for him was having and offering love to that strange drunk on his doorstep. That was Francis at work. And we're talking about Francis, we're talking about Saint Francis, okay? At work, powerful and practical, minus dependency and minus demand. In the next 6 months of my own sobriety, I worked hard with many alcoholics. Not a one responded. This was Bill. Yet this work kept me sober. That's another byproduct of it. It keeps you sober. So you can't stay sober without giving it away, right? Remember those paradoxes we talked about the other day. It wasn't a question of those alcoholics giving me anything. My stability came out of me trying to give, not out of demanding that I receive. And I get this a lot. Dion, thank you so much. What you said makes sense. Because I enjoy doing that. I'm not bragging. I'm getting to a point on this. Okay. Yeah, I just feel like I need to give back to you. No, you do not need to give back to me. All I ask is that you pass it on to the next person. I was in line the other day and this guy was having a hard time. He was having a hard time. He didn't have enough money. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. I just said, how short are you, dude? He said 20. I had an extra 20 bucks. I really don't have that much money. But so I gave him the 20 bucks. And he said, you don't need to do that. And I told him, and this was true, said, somebody's done it for me. All I ask is that you do it for the next person. I don't know why I did it. I don't have the money to give out, but I did it anyway. Still learning Jerry has said, still learning my sobriety is important and my program has been on target. Can't help anyone if my program is spiritually fit. Yeah. You have to be spiritually fit. Work out that spirit. Thus, I think it can work out with emotional sobriety if we examine every disturbance we have, great or small. We will find at the root of it some unhealthy dependency and its consequent unhealthy demand. Let us, with God's help, continually surrender these hobbling demands. Then we can be set to free and live in love. We may then be able to 12 step ourselves and others into emotional sobriety. I love this shit. All right, I love this last line here. Then we can be set free to live in love. And this is the point that I'm at in my life. Is I'm free to live in love. I have finally reached that point in my life. And I offer it freely. I don't there's no demand for my love. Okay? Now I'm going, let's remember there's priorities in our life. Okay? So my recovery is my priority. It comes before anything, which includes God. Okay? Then comes my family. See, I'm included in my recovery. Now, sometimes my recovery takes away from my family time. Those are the sacrifices that I make. There's a lot of sacrifices that I make, but I'm trying to use an example. Those are the sacrifices we make. Okay. Now, sometimes it's opposite. Sometimes it's more important that we spend time with family instead of going to the meeting. Because remember, we're here to help others. Your family is others. And you deserve to have that family. So if you need to take a little bit of time to hang out with your family, fucking do it, man. God ain't going to have you drink when you're hanging out with your grandkids and shit. I tell you that. They're going to keep you too damn busy. I'm kind of missing my grandkids. Little jerks. Grandpa's just not as cool as he was. See, I was cool before because what we did was spend time. Now they're at the age where money is more of a factor, going and doing things. They're going to have to love Grandpa for who he is. I'm still a cool-ass Grandpa. Hasn't changed. Who's going to be there when you're down? Who's going to be there when you're broke and you need help? It's going to be me. I'm going to be the person they come to. Of course, I haven't really offered you a really new idea. This was not a new idea. Maybe for us, right? But this was not a new concept, nor was the wheel rewritten or anything. This is how therapy works. Only a gimmick that has started to unhook several of my own hexes at depth. Nowadays, my brain no longer races compulsively to either elation, grandiosity, or depression. I have been given a quiet place in bright sunshine. And I cannot describe it any better than Bill. It's undescribable on what you go through. I didn't know that I would ever reach this level of understanding love. But I understand love quite differently now. And what's fantastic is I have different types of love to offer, which makes me safe. And that's really what I'm proud of is I'm a safe person. And that's what I'm known for is you can come to me, I'll stay quiet. We'll figure out your problem. I don't even care if you call me and not give me your name. It doesn't matter to me. Maybe you want to call and be anonymous, then do it. That's exactly why I set the group up to be private now. Somebody had brought that up. I thought that was a very good point. And you can post anonymously. So I want to do anything that I can in order to bring a safe space, because if I bring you a safe space, you can grow better. We talked about this in the noon meeting yesterday. And some people were saying they have a hard time when we have guests because we get a lot of nurses and people from the professional field. They're required to go to some AA meetings. And I can see their point. Personally, I never thought of it. It didn't make that click. But I'm not everybody, right? This person didn't feel safe talking, wouldn't talk normally. And we need to think of that stuff. We need to think of that, right? Are we going to change the meeting? Probably not. But it does make you think a little bit more on what other people are going through during a meeting and their anonymity, right? So there again, our forgetter works great. Yesterday was a fantastic reminder, even though I find myself to be Mr. HIPAA, but there is nothing wrong with being reminded to respect other people's anonymity. We need to be reminded of that. Jerry says, I never knew I could feel the way I do. So depressed my whole life, and now I'm grateful where I am, free of alcohol and drugs and of depression. It's gonna happen every now and again, but what's cool is we handle it different. I'm a little depressed right now. My wife's gonna be out of town until Thursday. I always get a little emotional, okay? But that's not going to rule my day. Not by a long shot. My wife doesn't want me to sit around the house and mope. She wants me to clean it while she's gone. Right? That's what she wants. How are you going to do it? I'm going to. All right. Years of dependency on alcohol and as a chemical mood changer deprived me of the capability to interact emotionally with my fellows. I thought I had to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and self-motivated in a world of unreliable people. Finally, I lost my self-respect and was left up with dependency, lacking any ability to trust myself or to believe in anything. Surrender and self-examination while sharing with newcomers helped me to ask humbly for help, right? And what that does is it frees me of certain things, because let's talk about the meeting yesterday too. I mean, even though I share my stuff, I don't trust anybody. I don't really only talk about in meetings what it is okay for other people to share. I don't bring up my big problems in meetings. Sometimes I'll bring them here so that we can discuss them and you guys can see how I work through that problem and we can do it together, right? But for the most part, that's left for my therapist. That's therapist talk, right? So, see, when I go to a meeting and I understand where he's coming from, the thing is if you feel uncomfortable to share, that means you're dumping in a meeting. And we share our experience, our strength, and our hope. If you go to a meeting and hear me, you'll hear I don't talk like I do here. I got 3 to 5 minutes to get a point across. And it's usually a point that everybody's missing because they want to read it a certain way. And that's the way that this works. Because if you don't read it, if it doesn't come up, then it can't be explained. Right? Like rock bottom. I've had to explain that. The difference between sobriety and recovery. There's a lot of things in there that people think it's one way and really it's not. So I try and intercept that, right? Pink cloud. Only happens once. It doesn't happen any more than that. And there it is. I screw up when I attempt to run the show. Instead of trying to run the show, I am just now a willing participant. And that's it. I don't have to control that. Why? Because my friend Jerry does that part. I trust her. I don't need to do that part. My friend Carrie takes care of that stuff. And we can start to trust in other people for certain things. Yeah. And you'll get there. You'll start to see it. You'll start to meet people. But the only way that happens is if you're totally honest and trustworthy with yourself. Because otherwise you're not capable of it. You won't even have the wherewithal to be able to do it. You won't even be able to see it. So therefore you won't be able to do it. Can't transmit something you don't have, right? So what is today about? It is about surrender, surrendering, and surrender it all, good or bad, and self-examination, right? Means take a look at yourself. Am I really doing better than I have been? Okay. The answer is most likely yes. Okay. And isn't it so hard for us to say, yes, I've been doing that and I'm proud of myself. Guess what? It's another time for one of these. Do it. Do it. Pat yourself on the back. 2 seconds. We're done. Okay. Good fucking job. Good job. I know people that are serious because they'll sit on a Sunday afternoon and listen to me ramble or somebody else. What they're doing is they're taking their free time and doing something they like. And what does that do for me? It makes me feel appreciated. See how this works? You guys coming on and just saying hi real quick or interacting a little bit makes me feel a part of too. So now everybody's gained something out of this. And then we get to walk away better people. Your home group keys are with you. Oh, get out of here. I'm wrapping up myself. So have a fantastic meeting. Thank you for your service work. Thank you, everybody on here, for your service work. All right. I love you guys. I really do. Peace out and have a day. Bye-bye.